Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing deportation from Thailand, specifically in the context of some of these restrictions that are being imposed here recently in response, at least at a relatively local level, to COVID-19, to the ongoing COVID-19 situation that's in response to that. A recent article from the Phuket News, that's the PhuketNews.com article, is titled, Phuket COVID Restrictions Extended, Foreigners Breaking Order Face Expulsion. Quoting directly, Phuket, the raft of restrictions in effect across Phuket to prevent the spread of COVID-19 have been extended through to May 31 under a new provincial order issued today, May 12. The order, including a warning that foreigners failing to observe the restrictions in place regarding gatherings, may be expelled from the country. Quoting further, if those who fail to comply with this measure are foreigners, their permission of being granted to remain in the kingdom under the Immigration Act will be taken into consideration. Not going to get into the substance of all these restrictions. We are discussing that in videos we're making contemporaneously with this one, at least on some level. But we're talking about the immigration implications specifically in this video. Going over to an article from Pattaya Mail, the Pattaya Mail, that's pattayamail.com. This article is titled, Foreign Worker Numbers in Pattaya Take a Nosedive. Quoting directly, however, the Bangkok-based Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration has stated that no foreigner will be deported without undergoing 2 weeks of supervised quarantine. I'll get to that further in a minute. I've had a lot of correspondence, folks that have been asking about this, and it seems that the legal basis for possible deportation is sort of a question on the lips of many. Now, I think there are multiple ways, unlike some of the stuff we've been talking about with respect to, for example, some of the mask mandates and things, which in my opinion, at least, it is based on some rather attenuated legal reasoning at best, and arguably, in my opinion, somewhat spurious legal reasoning, depending on the circumstances, at worst. With respect to immigration, those who are in non-immigrant status in Thailand who are, expelled from the country, who are deported, there's not a great deal of recourse associated with that if you are deemed to be inadmissible or deemed to be deportable, if you will. So inadmissibility is the phrase I like to use. Now, I'm kind of borrowing that from the context of American immigration, but someone who is deemed inadmissible can be denied entrance to the country, but in practice, they can also, if they're deemed inadmissible, they could be presumably deported from the country. That's how I read the relevant rules. This is from a translation of the Thai Immigration Act. To be clear, this is for educational purposes only. It also should be noted the Thai language is what's controlling with respect to the act. So this is an English translation from the Thai government, Office of the Council of State specifically. And so this is for informational purposes only, but I think this one section alone kind of provides the conceptual foundation, if you will, for the notions associated with deportation in this context. Quoting directly from Section 16, if in the interests of the country or for reason of public order, good morals or culture, or for the happiness of the people, the minister considers that any alien or group of aliens should not be permitted to enter the kingdom, the minister shall have power to not permit such alien or group of aliens to enter the kingdom. Presumably that also gives them the ability to not let them stay in the kingdom either. So the thing to understand, in my opinion, about this, and there's more. There's a lot in the Immigration Act. We've done other videos on this channel where we talk about the specific things that immigration officers can find folks inadmissible for. Most notably, communicable disease-related issues can be cited specifically, or just national security can be cited, and again, disease-related issues might be deemed to fall under that. But long story short, I think Section 16 makes it pretty clear. Let me double check. Yeah, Section 16 makes it clear that if they deem somebody inadmissible due to, again, not in the interest of the country, public order, good morals, or for happiness of the people, again, they can determine that somebody could be deemed inadmissible. So, yeah, unfortunately, out there for foreigners, take note of this, because being found, and we have done videos and we have discussed, in my opinion, they're getting it's getting a little strange, if you will, seeing some of the things that they're deeming to be a major issue that need to be addressed, at least in a police context. I'm not going to get into all that here, but yes, they're going after things that, in my opinion, are relatively innocuous, but they're taking it very seriously. And those that are deemed to be in violation of relevant law, actually, law, in my opinion, is the wrong word, as I've discussed in another video. Those to be in violation of these provincial orders, let's call them that, could be deemed to be inadmissible, and they could be deported. So foreign nationals should be on guard for this and understand that you could be expelled from the country. The other thing to remember is those who are expelled from the country, generally speaking, we think of this in the standard context of criminal law, but those who are expelled from the country for being in violation of the law may be and probably will be subject to a blacklisting, presumably of 5 years. And we've done other videos on this channel discussing this. So yeah, one could not only be deported from Thailand, but they could face a 5-year bar from returning to the kingdom.